There's new information this morning on a man suspected of gunning down two National Guard soldiers, killing one of them in Washington, although motivation for the attack still a bit unclear.
We really don't know what motivated him to take this particular act. We should, of course, always review our vetting procedures, but it's not clear, based on their own vetting, that you could have picked something up in this case.
Senator Chris Van Hollen, Democrat, Maryland, speaking about the Afghan national now being held in connection with the attack just before Thanksgiving. Bringing in ABC News national correspondent Steven Portnoy live from Washington this morning. Steven, the 29-year-old was legally in the country, apparently worked with the CIA in Afghanistan before coming here?
For years, as part of an elite counterterrorism unit that went after Taliban targets with and on behalf of the U.S. With the CIA. So this was a man who was known and trusted by the CIA and brought with his family to the United States as part of Operation Allies Welcome. The suggestion that he wasn't properly vetted has been viewed with a great deal of skepticism from those who are familiar with how this all worked. Look, the question is, what happened? The Homeland Security Secretary said yesterday that we believe he could have been radicalized in his home community and in his home state of Washington, Bellingham, Washington. What authorities have learned, according to our sources, is that this was a man who was under financial stress and facing a potential mental health crisis, that he was unemployed because his work permit had expired. He'd recently been deeply impacted. This is new information. He'd recently been deeply impacted by the death of one of his Afghan commanders. I don't know much more about that, but that's something that I think is potentially interesting. Sources say recently he'd been isolated, increasingly distant from family and friends, and depressed. Ramanullah Lakinwal was his name, armed with a 6-shooter revolver that he drove with him cross-country from Bellingham, Washington to Washington, D.C., and last Wednesday carried out the attack. The two guardsmen who were hit, one of them, of course, died, 20-year-old Sarah Beckstrom, and Andrew Wolf from the West Virginia Air Force National Guard remains in critical condition.
And, Stephen, the president, to the earlier point, now ordering a freeze on all decisions for those seeking asylum in the U.S. I mean, for how long or until what? I guess we don't know.
He was asked that yesterday and told reporters it's open-ended with no timeline. He also has indicated he's going to bar immigration from what he's described as third-world countries. This is all, of course, in response to an incident involving a man who'd been living here for years. And again, the suggestion is he wasn't properly vetted. But this was a man who'd been working with the U.S. government, and those people were basically put at the top of the list. They were trusted.
ABC News national correspondent Steven Portnoy live with us from Washington this morning. Thanks, Steven.
You bet.